As a fan of artists like Kendrick Lamar and SZA, I couldn't resist the urge to see them perform live and witness the magic of their music on stage. However, it often feels like the odds are stacked against you, making it seem impossible. That's how I felt when I found out that Denver wouldn't be a stop on their Grand National Tour. It was a major disappointment, especially after all the drama surrounding the Drake situation. But when Kendrick and SZA announced their tour, I knew I had to be there no matter what. Welcome to Celebrity Cookies, where the tea is always hot and the stories come with sprinkles of surprise. Make sure to subscribe, leave a comment with your take on the story. The distance didn't matter. The inconvenience didn't matter. Nothing was going to stop me from attending this concert. So, without hesitation, I did what any dedicated fan would do. I packed my bags and set off for Charlotte, North Carolina. May 3rd was the big day. But it wasn't just about the concert. My best friend's birthday was on May 1st, and she's from Raleigh, North Carolina. We decided to combine a birthday celebration with the ultimate fan experience, seeing two of the most iconic artists in the industry. It was the perfect excuse for a girls' trip, and I knew it would be the longest 24 hours of my life, but totally worth it. While I wouldn't say it was the best concert I've ever been to, I wouldn't change a thing about it. The adventure kicked off at 3:30 a.m. when my best friends, my little sister, and I crammed into my sister's Ford Escape for the long drive to the airport. Our flight was at 6:30 a.m., and we landed in Charlotte just after 11:30 a.m. We had some time to spare before checking into our hotel, so we made the most of it. We freshened up in the hotel lobby, changed into our concert outfits, and headed downtown. Why? Because SZA was hosting a pop-up for her new Not Beauty brand, and I wasn't going to miss it. The line to get in was long, but we were prepared for that. After all, what's a little waiting when you're about to experience something special? The pop-up was charming, but we quickly realized that the line to actually buy anything was a whole different challenge. But it didn't matter. We were determined, and after some waiting, we managed to grab some tour merchandise that was worth every penny. If I'd had more money, I would have easily spent $400 without hesitation. The merch was just that incredible. Things took an exhilarating turn when a throng of fans surged toward the pop-up event. The atmosphere buzzed with excited cheers, and I could feel the anticipation. It had to be SZA, right? She had posted on Instagram that she would be there, rain or shine. However, we were caught off guard by what happened next. Just as we neared the barricade, the skies opened up and rain began to pour. Naturally, we weren't going anywhere. We squeezed under the tent for shelter, convinced that SZA would show up any minute. Minutes turned into hours, and by 4 p.m., we were completely soaked. Thunder boomed, lightning flashed, and the streets turned into rivers. We rushed for cover, our shoes squelching, drenched to the bone, and left with no option but to laugh at the ridiculousness of it all. When we finally made it back to the hotel, we had about 45 minutes to change and get ready for the concert. We scrambled to put together outfits from the limited clothes we had, trying to look presentable after our wet ordeal. By 7 p.m., we headed to the stadium, our spirits high despite the chaos. It wasn't until nearly 8 p.m. that we got inside after going through bag checks, just in time for the show to start. And let me tell you, the moment the lights went down, it all felt worthwhile. The GNX, Kendrick's futuristic stage setup, rose from below the stage and my heart raced. Kendrick Lamar appeared like a hip-hop deity, and the crowd erupted. To ramp up the excitement, visuals played out a scene where Kendrick and SZA were in a deposition. The audience was so loud that I missed most of the dialogue, but from what I could catch, they were both hilarious. The concert was almost evenly divided between Kendrick's and SZA's performances. Honestly, I didn't expect such a balance, but I wasn't complaining. The more SZA, the better, in my opinion. Kendrick took the stage with his usual intensity, performing hits like Humble, DNA, N95, and Alright. But nothing hit harder than when he performed Euphoria, my favorite diss track aimed at Drake. Hearing it live was incredibly satisfying. The crowd was fully engaged, singing along to Swimming Pools a cappella, and Kendrick even rapped Mad City over the instrumental of Sweet Love. The entire stadium was electric. Then SZA took the stage. Wow. She's not just a performer, she's a force of nature. Watching her live, you realize she operates on a whole different level. Her choreography was flawless, and her stage presence was beyond words. When she perched atop a vine-covered GNX for 30 for 30, it felt like witnessing royalty. And when Garden, Say It Like Dat, began, I lost my voice singing along. I've never felt weak in the knees during a performance before, but SZA had that effect on me during Low. Her movements were captivating and her voice, absolutely angelic. Then, the magic of all the stars began to unfold. Lights lit up the sky, casting a glow on the clouds above us, creating one of those moments where you just have to stop and take it all in. Watching Kendrick and SZA perform Doves in the Wind together was amazing. Kendrick's verse in that song has a different impact when experienced live. Even though the rain never fully stopped, Lamar, always the composed performer, reassured us, a little rain won't hold us back. I actually enjoy the rain. And just like that, the show went on undeterred. The concert concluded with some big hits. Mustard joined for TV Off, and Kendrick impressed with Not Like Us. SZA came back on stage for Luther and Gloria. Honestly, I liked the song selections, but I felt Luther would have made a better final song. The energy was just right for it, while Gloria didn't quite fit the overall vibe of the performance. Despite a few minor hiccups, the show is something I will always cherish. The rain, the chaos, the waiting, all of it added to the experience. Truly, I wouldn't change a thing. Being there with friends, enjoying live music from artists you admire, makes everything else fade away. To be honest, it wasn't the best concert I've ever been to, but it was definitely an unforgettable experience. Kendrick and SZA showed why they're at the top of their game. No regrets. Ultimately, it's not about whether the show was perfect. It's about the memories created, the music enjoyed, and the friends by your side. For that, I will always be grateful. For TV Off, and Kendrick impressed with Not Like Us. SZA came back on stage for Luther and Gloria. Honestly, I liked the song selections, but I felt Luther would have made a better final song. The energy was just right for it, while Gloria didn't quite fit the overall vibe of the performance. Despite a few minor hiccups, the show is something I will always cherish. The rain, the chaos, the waiting, all of it added to the experience. Truly, I wouldn't change a thing. Being there with friends, enjoying live music from artists you admire, makes everything else fade away. To be honest, it wasn't the best concert I've ever been to, but it was definitely an unforgettable experience. Kendrick and SZA showed why they're at the top of their game. No regrets. Ultimately, it's not about whether the show was perfect. It's about the memories created, the music enjoyed, and the friends by your side. For that, I will always be grateful. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this situation, so please share your opinions in the comments. Also, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications to stay updated on the story.